Let's make some noise. Come on.
Right indeed, Nick Foles. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the final word. Well, not the final word. I got one more tomorrow, but the final word here on the Instagram Sports Network with your boy MattyB on the call on this beautiful Wednesday evening. Fresh off, a good night's sleep after last night's debacle. Great to be back here today. We got a smorgasbord of activity to get into tonight. Of course, our lead story is picking up the pieces, right? What now? What now? And am I taking way too much stock in this? Is this something that people care about? I think if you're a baseball purist, what happened last night in Miami against Venezuela is a wake-up call for USA Baseball as a program, the USA Baseball culture, and every baseball program from here or from sea to shining sea and all in between. I thought what we saw last night was eerily similar to what Philly fans deal with on a daily basis during the baseball season. And it's an utter disgrace. I mean, I'm going to say it, man. It's a disgrace that we lost to Venezuela. Now, again, some solace in all this is that we lost to a team from this hemisphere, which is okay by me. I guess technically they're in our hemisphere. They're in the Americas, so I guess it's okay too. We didn't lose to Canada or Japan, I couldn't live with myself. We lost to Canada. But it's a disgrace that we lost not only this championship, but the one in 23. So is it a wake-up call for USA Baseball? Do we need to change? And I talked about this last night, and I've talked about it before. We are changing. If you look around the youth levels, the high school levels, the travel ball levels, 12U probably is where it kind of starts, maybe 10U. But they're changing, and they're starting to teach them how to hit now instead of be home run or bust type people. And we're going to get into what is the next step for USA Baseball. What is the next step for some of these players in their future with USA Baseball? And what's the next step for the WBC when it pertains to this country? There's going to be an Olympic Games in between the next WBC. The Summer Games of 28 in LA are going to feature baseball, and Team USA will be involved in that. Now, who that's going to be, and i.e., is it going to be MLB players? I don't know, because they're going to have to work that out. But what is our Olympic team going to look like? And should this be a wake-up call to those putting together the 2028 Olympic team to let's leave some of the big bashers at home and let me get some actual hitters on this baseball team? So we're going to get into the ramifications of the WBC, our lead story. Of course, the Eagles, Flyers, Phillies are all in the headlines today as well. Andy Dalton. Okay. And the 38-year-old, I thought it was Carson Palmer. Are they the same person? Former Bengals, former Carolina Panther. I don't know how many teams he's played for. But 38-year-old Andy Dalton is now the Eagles' backup third string. It will be open. It will be an open competition as he was traded today by the Panthers to the Eagles for a 2027 seventh-round pick. I don't think this sends the shockwave or puts Tanner McKee on notice that he's getting traded. I don't know if you're ready to turn over the backup reins to a 38-year-old in Andy Dalton. So we'll talk about that if you like. Just another non-needle moving trade depth piece. Of course, you never can have enough quarterbacks. Boston Scott also decided to formally hang it up today as he retired from football, the former Eagle, and also or Mr. New York Giant, right? I mean, he was a Giant killer. And then, of course, the Hollywood Brown fallout. We didn't really get into that yesterday. The Eagles brought in Hollywood Brown. Again, I don't necessarily believe this has anything to do with A.J. Brown and his future with the team. I just think this is another depth piece. We needed a number 3 because we had to replace, Dotson. I don't think this has anything to do with anything. And then, of course, we'll get into some of that talk if you like. The Phillies, saving, I guess, the best for last. Andrew Painter left them all mouth open today. One of his best starts, if not the best start of the spring. He struck out 3, allowed 1 hit over 4 innings, no runs against the Braves. Next time we'll see Andrew Painter will probably be sometime in early April in the National Series in Philadelphia. So obviously, I think Andrew's done enough to make this team. We'll get into some of that. Johan Rojas's 80-game suspension has been upheld by Major League Baseball. See ya. Don't let the door hit you on the way out, man. Honestly, don't really care. But we'll get into that as we are literally 8 days away. Can you believe that? 8 days away from the start of the baseball season. 8 days from now, we'll be talking meaningful baseball. I cannot believe it. So we'll get that going as well tonight. And the Flyers are embarking on their final West Coast trip of the season out there in Anaheim. Clear the Ice will be on the air tonight, and I will be on it. So after I do this, I'm going to take a little bit of break, watch the game, come right back on and do the post game at hopefully not too late of an hour of the night. Clear the Ice is on a week-to-week basis right now, right? It's very simple. The Flyers get points, we continue on. If the Flyers go a week without no points, and they have 3 games this week, right? 3 games. I'm going to give them 3 games out west. If they don't secure any points in any of those 3 games, we will put Clear the Ice on hiatus for the year. And that's just how it's going to be. If they get 1 point out of 6, fine, we keep going. But they got to get points. They got to get at least 1 point a week for this show to continue on, because we are about to run headfirst into the Fightins final, which will start next Thursday. And unless I can start morphing people and cloning people, I'm going to run out of bodies here, right? I don't know if you want to see me. I guess tonight will be kind of a tester. You're going to be seeing me twice. You might be seeing a lot of that type of stuff coming up if we have to continue on with Clear the Ice, Fightins final, and the other shows. Might be seeing a lot of MattyB, a lot of Mike Lauro, and a smattering here and there of Big Al. So we got to play this smart, right? If the Flyers secure at least one, all it is 1 point over the next 3 games, then we'll coming back next week. The first week they don't get any points, cutting it off, man. Cutting it off till next year. But we'll get into the Flyers as some of the prospects are now getting signed. Cole Knuble is the latest. Signed his ELC with the Flyers a couple of days ago, or maybe a week ago now. Nolan Powell signed his ELC. Some of the draft picks now are starting to pony up. What is Porter Martone's future once the Michigan State season ends? Is he going to be a Flyer here in the next couple of weeks? We'll see. I hope the hell he is. I don't see any reason to bring Porter Martone back for another year of college hockey. He needs to sign that contract. Get him in town. Get him at least the last 10 games of the season. Get him taste, right? So we'll get into some Flyers, and we'll cover it all. But we got a lot to get into tonight, so let's not waste any more time. The Eagles' new cornerback flew himself to Philly. Most free agents hop on a flight and take a plane to join their new team. Veteran Jonathan Jones was the pilot, flew his own plane to get to Philly. That's an interesting fact there, Star Wars. Way to keep up on that kind of stuff, man. So Jonathan Jones is a pilot, huh? Flew to Philadelphia. Was his arms tired? You don't get that. Well, welcome. That'll probably be the most exciting thing he does here. Was flying here this season. Joe Hale, what's up, man? And yes, JT Real Muto is celebrating birthday number 35. Way to set the tone. Yes, the phone lines will be open. I will get the link out here momentarily, but let's get this thing rolling. We will do your day in Philadelphia sports history and our other night segment. No card tonight, folks. No card. Didn't have time to put one together, so we won't do a card tonight. We'll finish up the week strong tomorrow with a card. But let's get it rolling. Let's strap in, strap on, strap up. Keep your head, hands, and feet inside the car at all times. And here we go. Your day in Philadelphia sports history on this day back in 2015. In a complete and mostly surprising move, the Flyers general manager Ron Hextall, remember that, announced the hiring of Dave Hextall to become the 19th coach in Flyers history. Hextall, a college coach from North Dakota with 0 NHL experience, replaced the fired Craig Berube. And what ensued after that was a 3-year period of mediocrity and no personality and watching paint dry on the bench. But he was successful. I mean, they got to the playoffs, I think, all 3 of his years or 2 of his 3 years. But not an inspiring hire by the new GM at the time, Ron Hextall. or semi-new GM. And of course, maybe the first stake in the Hextall coffin was to bring Hextall here. Utter disaster. I mean, he was not the right personality for this town. I'm so happy the day they fired him and moved on. But on a slow night in Philadelphia sports history, on this day, 2015, Dave Hextall was your new head coach. And that was brought to you by the It's a Wrap Sports Network, proud presenters of such programming as the, I guess, flagship show, the Fighting's Final, the quintessential in Philly pregame and postgame show entertainment, making its return for its 5th season starting on Sunday, this coming Sunday, on March 22nd, 5 p.m. The 2026 Philly season preview show will be on the air live. Make sure you're there. Joining me, Mike, and Al will be your hosts for the show all throughout the season. If you don't know how the format works, it's pretty simple. We all come on for the first show, and then starting with the opener, which will be a dual-hosted event, the opener this year. We always try to do the opening game as a dual-hosted event. But then after that, it's every man for himself, and we are on the air pretty much alone through the All-Star break. And then you'll see us come back together for the mid-season check-in show. We split back up, and then we come back for a dual partnership for the playoffs, God forbid, and then we finish everything up around Thanksgiving on your review show. So it's a long journey that will begin on Sunday, season number 5 of the Fighting's Final. And as I've mentioned, in all of the seasons we've done it, this will be the 5th season, we've never missed the playoffs in the history of the Fighting's Final. So let's hope those good times and vibes continue to roll in 2026. All right, let's see where we're at here. Phillies ace Zach Wheeler threw his second live BP today. Good news, he's on track to join the Phillies rotation next month. That is what I'm hearing, Star Wars, is that there's a potential Zach Wheeler sighting in April. And I guess before we get into the meat and bones of our show, and it will be baseball centric tonight, as it should be, right? I mean, we are in baseball season. Where does everybody stand on the Zach Wheeler thing? I will honestly, when the news came out back in November about Zach Wheeler and not being available till late May, I think was the original timeline. He said May 28th back in November. I honestly was okay with that. I'm more interested in having a Zach Wheeler with a fresh live arm, mid-season form at the end of the season. I'm not so. I mean, great. If we can get him back, fine. But if we don't need him, if you don't have to rush him, why get him back out there in April? If the 5 that we're going to throw out there, and of course, this is a big if, right? If the 5 we're going to throw out there in the beginning of the season can hold their own. And let's remember what March and April baseball is in Matty B's world. March and April are pretty low expectation months. 500 or better and healthy. That's my expectations for the Phillies in March and April. Right? You build on stuff that you do in the early part of the season in May and June. I don't need them to come out the damn gang. I don't need them to come out the gate blazing. I don't, and I honestly don't want them to be. So if you can hold off on throwing Zach Wheeler out there for a few months because you don't have to, I'm okay with that. And of our 5 that are doing the job in the beginning, which will be what? Sanchez, Luzardo, Nola, Walker, and Painter. If they can hold their own, so be it. I need Zach Wheeler in the dog days. I need him in late July, August, September, and of course October. I don't really need him in April and May. If I don't have to have him, I don't really need him. So that's great news that he could potentially be ready. But as far as I'm concerned, put him on the backfield and leave him back there. And when he's ready, he should come up to the manager and say, "Hey, I'm ready to go." But for now, there should be no rush. But it's positive news, absolutely positive news. I think he said I think he said just retire after the season. I think he should. I don't think he will. I don't think any pitcher wants to go out the way he went out. I honestly believe he wants he thinks, he's chasing that ring. And I think he's going to give everything he can for the ring. Now, if the team begins to break down around him, that's going to be a different situation. But I wouldn't expect Zach Wheeler to retire anytime over the next 2 years. I think 26 and 27, barring the injury situation that holds up, I don't think there's a reason that Zach Wheeler will retire. Beyond 27, yeah, we might, there might be something there. But now I don't think he wants to go out like this. I don't think he wants to go out on this note. He was, an injury-plagued career early on. It really went away in his time here in Philadelphia. This was a major one, but a fluky one, though. If he can stay healthy for the next couple of years, I think he'll want to ride this thing out to try to get a ring. Now, if the injuries begin to mount up again, of course, that's going to absolutely dictate his future. But I don't think he should retire after the season. If he can still be Zach Wheeler, there's no sense in him retiring. God knows we can't afford that right now. But yeah, obviously it all depends on Zach Wheeler. But I guess we can start with our lead story. And it's a story that's been bothering me all night, honestly, ever since it ended 3-2 last night, the USA against Dominican. I know it's not Dominican, Venezuela. Sorry. I don't know if I'm the only one still holding a candle on this. I mean, I held the Team USA gold medal win candle for about a week and a half. But I have a real problem what happened last night. The more and more I sit back and think about it, and not because they lost, all right, but the way they lost. And it's been a theme that we talked about on the show last night. Was a theme that happened during the game, and it's a theme I can't seem to escape. And that was the similarities between Team USA's offense and the Phillies' offense. Not just in the playoffs, but throughout the whole season. This was a carbon copy of how the Phillies go about their daily basis. And this is why, to me, offensively, the Phillies don't work. And to me, offensively, why the Phillies are not going to win a World Series as they are built. And a stark kind of like reality slap in the face, cold water moment came last night when I'm watching that game. And I'm thinking, oh my God, it's like I'm watching a rewind of the Phillies. And the fact that they didn't really do anything to change that heading into this season. Oh, man, what is this? Some sort of like, preview of what I have to start looking forward to again? A team that was just devoid of any type of sort of momentum and any type of offense, that was completely relying upon the home run. And when it's not working, when that philosophy doesn't work, you got what you got last night, and you got what you get from the Phillies on a daily basis, and it's frustrating. And when it does work, it's amazing, right? They score 13, 14 runs, but then they go through games like this. Team USA's offense throughout this entire tournament was stuck in neutral, and it was stuck in one mode, and that was hit home runs. Now, I didn't put together Team USA. I don't know really who did, but obviously now that we have to go back and look at this, and look at the fact that a team that was playing essentially small ball, they did hit one home run, but a team that essentially beat them with small ball, because if you look at that go-ahead run from Venezuela, that go-ahead run was a complete small ball run. And Team USA could not even generate that. They did not get any runners in scoring position last night. Not a one. Not one runner was on second base last night for Team USA. For a lineup that was boasting all that talent and all that firepower, not one runner got in scoring position. And that's scary. It's very scary. And as I'm watching Venezuela take the lead last night, start with a walk, then a stolen base, and then a double, and boom, you're down. And there's another runner back in scoring position. That's the kind of baseball I want to play. That's the kind of baseball that the Phillies don't play. That's the kind of baseball that we're used to not seeing here. And that's the kind of baseball that I think is dying off around the world. And Venezuela, who boasted a very potent lineup of their own, demonstrated that last night. You can have all the home run hitters you want, but when they go for a combined, what was Schwarber and Judge, 0 for 7 with like 6 strikeouts? When you get them in that situation, there's nothing left there. There's no backup plan offensively. There was nothing in that lineup that they could use to generate any offense. because the lineup was so laden with these power hitters. And this again is and maybe it was my own mortality that I was seeing in my own, like, oh no, I'm about to sit down and watch 162 games of this. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's why I'm having such a hard time kind of coming to grips with all this, because I now have a whole season of this ahead of me. And as I mentioned, around the world, around the country, youth baseball is switching. They're going back to teaching these kids how to hit. Thank God. Gone are the days of exit velo, launch angle. Now we're talking about using all fields. Now we're talking about how to protect with two strikes. Now we're talking about how to pull the ball, throw down a bunt, hit a sacrifice fly, take what the defense is giving you, take a run when you need it in the first inning. We're going back to that. And I fear that the rest of the world has already gone back to that. We're behind the curve on that. And we're left with this brand of baseball that we saw in the WBC. It's absolutely embarrassing that we lost to Venezuela. Our lineup. It's absolutely embarrassing. And what is the future of international baseball in this country? 2028 is the Summer Games. We are going to it. We are part of it because we're the host country. It's in LA. There's going to be an Olympic Games before the next WBC. What is Team USA going to look like in that Olympics? And again, of course, we don't even know if Major League Baseball players will be involved in it. We got to find out what the new CBA says. The Olympics have made it easier for MLB to get involved in it. It's sandwiched right in there during an All-Star break, so they can actually do that. But what kind of team do they bring with them to LA? I don't want to see this team. I don't want to see this manager, and I don't want to see a team comprising of Schwarber, Judge, Harper. I don't want to see all of them. They got to break it up. For every power hitter, we need a contact hitter. For every Aaron Judge, we need a Bobby Witt. For every Bryce Harper, we need a Gunnar Henderson. Right? For every Cal Riley, we need a Jacob Wilson or a Nick Kurtz or a Jack Caglione. He is American. We could use him. And I don't think Italy qualified, or they haven't qualified yet. And I don't even know what the rules are going to be about that. I don't know if you can be a nationalized Italian or by birth, or you have to actually be a citizen of that country. I don't know how that works. But they need to figure it out, because I don't want to see a power-laden lineup with 5 cleanup hitters. I want an actual leadoff guy. Bobby Witt was a perfect leadoff guy. The problem with Bobby Witt was there was nobody behind Bobby. You had Bryce Harper, who only had 3 hits in the entire tournament. He's off the hook a little bit because he came up clutch last night, but he was absolutely a ghost throughout the whole tournament. There was nothing atop of that lineup that kept things moving along. There needs to be a powerful 1 and 2 hitter, a contact hitters at the top of that damn lineup. And then you can start loading up the Bryce Harpers and the Kyle Schwarbers and the Aaron Judge at 3, 4, and 5. But the lineup was so misbuilt, so unstructured. Yeah, yes, things that we talk about all the time about the Phillies. And this is what you got. So I need to see more. The pitching, does Andrew Painter find his way into future WBCs? Is this the start of maybe a little bit of revolution of the pitching staff? Obviously, Paul Skeens will be the anchor. Skubal, have we forgiven him for that little disgrace, little selfish act of not wanting to jeopardize his contract year, so he left Team USA? I don't know if I've forgiven him on that one. Are we far away? No. But we need to catch up with the rest of the world's philosophy when it comes to hitting these days. It's not spray and praying anymore. It's not loading up for the home run and then saying, okay, I can accept my 3 and 4 hitters going 0 for 7 or 0 for 6 or 0 for 7 with 6 strikeouts. No, those days are over, man. We need people to make contact with the ball. So I'm still having a real hard time processing this loss. So that is obviously our main story. The phone lines are open. If you guys want to get involved in the conversation, we can talk that. Bring up anything that's going on with the Eagles, Flyers, or Phillies as well. But the main part of our conversation, our top story tonight, picking up the pieces of the loss between USA and Venezuela, and how and what the future of USA baseball might be in this country. And again, Mark DeRosa, another interesting point of this is, do we invest our future of our international baseball program to a former manager, coach, player, current analyst, or do we get somebody that's in the game right now, somebody that's actively involved in the game? I know that DeRosa was last night, his lineup decisions were a little, for as much as I was not against it, and as much as Cal Riley had a terrible tournament, he didn't have any hits. He was 0 in this tournament. I still think you go with him over Will Smith. And but you're never going to sell me on why the hell Buxton started in lieu of PCA. I don't know why Pete Crow Armstrong, who was probably your most consistent hitter, sat and they put Buxton in this. I don't get that at all. So the lineup decision last night was a little questionable, especially for the championship game. So what is the future when it comes to the manager and all that? So I'm having a hard time with it, man. I'm having a hard time. Let's go to the phones. Joe Hale's standing by. Joe, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I just want to reiterate what you just said. MLB Network, and if you'd Mark DeRosa today, because he works for there, and said he's not going to manage the next time they come. He said he was 2 and done.
Yeah, I mean, are you upset about that?
I'm okay with that. I think
so am I. No, I think we need somebody in the game, right, Joe? You need somebody actively in the game right now, right? An active manager, an active coach.
He heard from sources and rumors that the Olympics are going to be involved with MLB players, but they're going to take out the All-Star game next year.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
Well, it would be in 2028, not next year.
Sure.
What's that?
Right?
2028.
Okay.
So, but yeah, no, I mean, the NHL does it. They took their All-Star break out for the Olympics. So, and the way the Olympics set it up, it's right there, literally right there in that All-Star break window. That's when the baseball event will happen. I have no doubt that it will involve major league players, and I think it'd be amazing, absolutely 100% amazing. I may actually go to LA for the tournament. I think it would be great to see. But Joe, what type of team do you want to see go to Los Angeles? Do you want to see a team that has Bryce Harper batting second, Kyle Schwarber or Aaron Judge batting third, Kyle Schwarber batting fourth?
No, you mix and match with the team.
What do you mean?
You have a contact hitter number 1. I wouldn't do a power hitter number 2. I would put a speeder at number 2. Mix and match.
So structure the lineup a little bit more traditional, right? Yeah. Contact up top, power in the middle, contact in the back end, and then speed at the end, right?
Kind of like a Justin Crawford. Would be nice, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be some players that are going to be in play as well that are not in play right now because we don't know them yet, but there's going to be the Connor Griffins of the world, the Justin Crawfords, the Andrew Painters of the world, Aiden Millers of the world. They may be making some noise to be part of future international events. My point, though, is this, Joe, and I'm not going to lay this at the feet of Harper, Schwarber, and Judge. I'm not. I really am not. But
Judge,
they all came up. They all came up small. Harper's off the hook a bit because he came up clutch last night. But Schwarber and Judge were a combined 0 for 7 last night with 6 strikeouts. You can't have that in the middle of your lineup.
Pitiful.
Yeah.
So, in the manager's world, you know who would be perfect if he wants to do it? Mr. Bruce Bochy.
Wow, absolutely.
Because
that'd be a great guy, great candidate. Absolutely.
Or Mike Scioscia.
Yeah, I mean somebody in the game right now. It's got a little bit of a championship resume. I don't want a Terry Francona. Well, I mean Terry Francona now, but not like a Terry Francona first-year manager guy. I don't want somebody like that. I want somebody with a little bit of resume, who's been in the big game, who's won the big games, who knows how to manage these guys now in this era of baseball. Yeah, no, and again, the lineup last night was a little sus. what was Cal Riley not? Why was Cal Riley not playing in that game? I get it. He hadn't hit at all. You could slide him down the lineup.
If anything,
He could run into one at some point in this game. He might have run into one. I don't agree with the Will Smith decision. And Buxton over PCA. I don't know where that came from.
If anything, I would have started Goldschmidt over Harper. Come on. Why?
Yeah.
I would have started Goldschmidt over Harper. I'm not gonna lie. Harper's stats up until yesterday sucked.
Yeah, 2 hits going into yesterday's game.
I would have started Goldschmidt.
Yeah.
Andrew Painter today looked phenomenal. Was it all MLB talent today? You know?
Combination. I think we're getting the minor league camps have split, and they're doing their own thing now. There's more I would say relevant major league talent on these rosters right now. There's still some minor leaguers there, but these guys got maybe a shot at potentially making the roster, or they're going to be put in play at some point this year. So yeah, it's about as I guess it's about as complete as it can be at this stage of spring training when it talks about the talent level. But yeah, the camps have split, and all your straight up minor leaguers are gone.
That's why.
So, yeah, I mean, it was a good sign, and that should be it for him, right? I mean, next time we see him, will probably be against the Nationals in South Philly sometime in early April.
Could he start in the Rangers series?
That all depends on how they're going to go with the rotation. I personally think you go with Sanchez, Luzardo, Nola. I think that's your top 3, and then if you want to put Painter at 4, and then Walker at 5, yeah, I don't care, but yeah, I mean, I think you still got to use your top 3 as your top 3.
But they said Nola's going to start Saturday.
So Nola's going to go 2. So they're going to go Sanchez, Nola, Luzardo.
Yeah, but Sanchez is going Friday, I think, and then Luzardo's going.
Yeah, it'll be so that would be Sanchez, Nola, Luzardo.
I'm okay with that.
I was okay with that too until Nola had his 6.05 ERA, and that was the reason why they bounced him down last year. I mean, they were having Luzardo going 2. Maybe they're giving Nola a fresh chance. I mean, Nola is a 2. That's what his natural spot in the world is. So, and Aaron Nola and Dante Nori both named to the All WBC team for 2026.
I didn't know Nori could play. He's an outfielder, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can see him taking over for Mr. the Bearded One, Brandon Marsh, next year. Or maybe at the end of the year.
So Nori has had a rocketed rise through the minors. He's going to probably start in AAA this year, and it's a good problem to have if he's going to really start scratching the surface to get into Philadelphia. I would not be surprised, and I don't think they would do it. But if the outfield looks like you got Crawford in center, Nori in left, and Rakonis in right in 2027, I doubt they're not going to make it over that drastically. But by 2028, that should be your outfield. But yeah, absolutely.
Question: who's better, Rakonis or Nori?
Well, right now, Rakonis has been up at AAA now. This will be his 3rd year in AAA.
He didn't play all spring training.
Yeah, I saw him only. I only saw him a handful of times in Phillies games.
Yeah, like 4 because he got.
Yeah,
hurt
he
again.
was, and then Miller's been hurt.
Yeah, they shut down Miller for spring training already. Uh-oh.
What about Andy Dalton? Does that move the needle for you, Joe?
No. Well, yes. I can tell you why, yes. I think Tanner McKee's traded.
Joe, so you're going to turn over the backup duties to a 38-year-old man?
Yes. Experienced 38-year-old.
Listen.
Unless.
I'm not saying you're wrong. Okay.
Hey, I'm not done yet. Unless they do keep Tanner McKee and put Dalton as the emergency quarterback.
I don't see why they wouldn't do that. Maybe they have a camp battle. Maybe they make the move at some point during the season or during training camp. someone loses a quarterback. You know how that works. Quarterback goes down in preseason and they want Tanner McKee and they'll give up a first-round pick. Then yeah, but I don't expect Tanner McKee to be moved at any time before August. Okay, if they're going to move him, and if there isn't a need to move him, if there's not a first-round pick involved in trying to get the quarterback for a team that thinks they already had that quarterback and they're going to get Tanner McKee, a la Sam Bradford, that kind of thing, I would imagine that they go to the season with the 3 quarterbacks being the way they are.
Part of me, so the last game before a regular season, part of me is why they picked him up, Andy Dalton, is look at Tanner McKee's struggle. I think that's
Tanner McKee played well in that game.
Okay. That's
I thought he played well.
That's why they lost. Okay.
I'm not listen. Wait, that wasn't the game. The Commanders game, right?
Yeah, the Commanders game.
I thought he played well.
Got injured.
I thought he played well. I thought he played well in all the what that was. He played. I thought he played well. I'm not saying he was playing with the 3rd string.
Okay.
I mean, listen, I'm not ready to turn over the job to him, but I think he's a competent backup. I think he can play with the first team if he has to.
Maybe they did that to put pressure on Hurts.
I'm telling you, it's all about getting depth and holding on to some options. If something happens in the spring or summer, and a team needs a quarterback, they can dangle McKee out for a first-round pick. You know, I think it's a very savvy business move. But if they're going to end up moving McKee on draft day, and we're going to go into the season with Hurts, Andy Dalton, and some drafted quarterback, I'm not feeling that at all, man.
And then one last question about the Flyers, and then I'll let you go. Does Vlad get re-signed for a 1-year deal? Would you do it?
Does who?
Vlad, the goalie.
Oh, Dan Vladar?
Yeah, on a 1-year deal.
Doesn't he? He signed a 2-year deal. He's under contract for 2 years.
Oh, because they were talking about re-signing him today.
I mean, let's take a look. I mean, I might be wrong, but I could have sworn he's not a free agent this year.
Oh, that was on 97.5 to Fanatic.
I thought when they signed him this summer, they signed him to a 2-year deal.
Oh, I heard it was I believe I heard it was a 1-year deal.
Well, let's take a look here. Let me bring it up. 2026 free agents. Goalie. No, he's not on the list.
Okay.
Urson's on the list.
Yeah. So does he become your backup and they let Urson go?
Yes. Bobrovsky's a free agent, right?
Is he really?
Yeah.
Would you bring him back and put him down my
2-year deal? 2-year deal
on a minor league? Okay.
Sergei Bobrovsky? No, I'd bring him back. Not on a minor league deal. I'd bring him back. I'd sign him to I pay him his $10 million AAV, and I bring him back on a 2-year deal.
But you got the young guys that you drafted.
I got Bjornsson down there in the minors, and I got Igor Zarajan in the KHL. Yes, I get that. But if I can get a couple years of a Sergei Bobrovsky and then kind of stabilize that starting position and give those guys ample time to really develop down in the minors, I'm going to take it. I doubt the Flyers are going to go that direction, but that would satisfy my goaltending problem for at least 2 years, and then we can look at another way with the young kids after that. So Flyers are going to have over $41 million of cap room this summer, the 4th most in the league. They can make a move like that if they want.
Calling it now, the Flyers win tonight. They get your point that you want.
The Flyers win what?
Flyers win tonight, 3-1.
Well, Joe, if they do, then Clear the Ice will return next week. But if they don't get any points this week, putting the dog down.
They take 2 out of 3. I'm calling it right now. 2 out of 3.
What, tonight in San Jose?
Tonight in LA.
So you think they're going to go back to back and win and then lose in San Jose?
Yeah.
Interesting. See if it works for you.
So, wait, it's not back to back, is it?
Playing LA tomorrow.
Oh, are they really?
Yep.
Back to back, yeah. All right.
So Urson's playing in one of these games. Probably going to play tomorrow.
All right.
All right, Joe. We'll talk tomorrow night. All right, man.
Yep.
Yeah. I didn't think Vildar. I could have sworn they'd sign him to a 2-year deal. Phillies have been giving Garrett Stubbs more work in the infield and outfield this spring to make him more versatile. Yeah, well, Star Wars, I don't know if it's about making. I mean, is that a poetic way or a polite way of saying for some odd God only knows reason they want to keep him around on this team because he's out of options and they're obviously not going to carry 3 catchers. Yeah, I don't know. And I would love to get inside of Rob Thompson's head and find out exactly what he sees in Garrett Stubbs that the rest of the baseball world doesn't. I really would. Is a vibe guy in the locker room that important these days for these soft ass pansies? I mean, do I really need a guy wearing overalls and a beer case hat? Is that what I'm really looking for? If that was the case, I would have been dead set on playing baseball. All right, if that's all I had to do was be a beer case hat and overalls. But I just don't understand why they're moving heaven and earth to find a spot on this baseball team for Garrett Stubbs. And it will take away, but the Phillies do have some options there because Brian De La Cruz, who's played pretty solidly this spring, he's on a minor league deal, so they can send him down, just send him down. That's no waivers, just send him down. And then you got Dylan Moore, who got hurt today. Dylan Moore got hurt, so there's another potential position there for Garrett Stubbs to fill. I don't know. Maybe more and more is looking like he will make this team, which God help me. And then you got Johan Rojas gone for 80 games and no playoffs for him. So there's another spot open, right? But I don't say it, man. I don't. I'd rather give some of the young minor league talent an opportunity than a Garrett Stubbs. I can't fathom why. But yes, this is a story we've been tracking throughout the week too. Pathetic. Joe says, Ricky says hi. Tell Ricky we all said hi, Joe, please. Back to the phones we go, and Michael Papernick is with us. Michael, what's up?
Yo, what up, Matty? Garrett Stubbs, outfielder, infielder, catcher. He's super utility guy.
I don't know what is. Papernick, is there something that we're not seeing that Rob Thompson does?
Yeah. He's a guy who probably carries Bryce's bags. He probably carries Schwarber's bags. Probably carries Robbie's bags. That's what he does.
There's some laundry there for everybody.
What? Listen, why bring Dante? Why leave Dante? Why? We'll keep Stubbs and leave Dante Nuri, who's 21, tearing it up. But the other guy's like 2 for 80 in the World Baseball Classic. I mean, you think about that. I mean, come on. I'm like apples, orange. Dante Nuri's facing major league guys, and he's hitting the ball. But I mean, they'll run Brandon Marsh out there. That's that's all right. Yeah.
So Dante Nuri and Aaron Nola both were named to the All WBC team, tournament team. They got honored. Dante Nuri is the center fielder of the whole tournament. The All-Star nod. And he will probably go back to AAA because, listen, not for nothing, though, Papernick. I mean, Nori's been a lot of people didn't know about up to this season. I obviously was keeping an eye on him because he was flying through the minors. I mean, flying through. And he ended up last season right there at the cusp of AA. And will get his opportunity. I'm okay with starting him out in AAA. I really am. But if he continues to do what he was doing in the spring, you got to have to make room for him on this team.
No, they got to make room now. I mean,
now? I
mean, I guarantee if he was with the Braves, I'm telling you, that kid would be up. What? Dave Dombrowski is still trying to justify the Brandon Marsh trade.
Oh yeah, no. Oh. Listen, don't get me started on that. I mean, this is the first Logan O'Hoppe reference of the season there, Papernick. I appreciate you waiting this long to do it. But no, you're absolutely right. He's justifying what he gave up in that lopsided-ass trade. I 100% agree with you.
I mean, at the time, I didn't know much about Logan O'Hoppe. You know what I mean? I didn't know much about Brandon Marsh. I just knew we needed a center fielder. So, at the time, I thought maybe it might be one of them deals that work out for both teams. Brandon Marsh is the starter. He's a platoon guy. Rincones or Nuri should be the left fielder. But Marsh should not be out there at all. But, what do we know? And then, you said you wanted to get Robbie's head. Well,
is that a place I don't want to go to?
Look. You might just see two little spitballs flying around up there. That's about it. There ain't much more.
Or that little duck thing that just keeps going up and down into the water.
Yeah. And just remember, look, we gotta treat Robbie with a lot of respect. He's in the Canadian Hall of Fame. That is, top notch. So
I think you should do that on your show. Robbie wasn't in the Canadian dugout in the WBC. I was actually surprised not to see him there.
They're smart. Cat is real smart. They're like, listen, I think you should do a show just dedicated to Robbie and the Canadian Hall of Fame and give him his just due. I think you should
do a Rob Thompson. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe when they fire him in season, I'll do that.
Now, I'll tell you. Did you see the Jalen Waddle trade?
First and a fourth, right?
No, it was a first. Dude, it was 3 picks went to Denver. Went to
really? I saw first
Miami.
And a fourth.
No, it was a first, something else, and something else. I think it was 3 of them. If I'm right, it's
first,
3.
Second, and a fourth.
It was something like that. But here's the deal: AJ Brown's numbers, if you put him, is better than Waddle's. Waddle, he's salivating. He's going to, whether AJ gets traded this year or next year, he's going to get something for him. I'm just telling you that he is. I
agree. And listen, I think he still gets traded post June 1st. I don't think he'll get traded before that, but he will not. He will not be an Eagle in 26. I firmly believe that.
Well, I look at it like this: if Howie's come out and said if he don't get what he wants, he's not going to trade him. I'm not giving away after you just saw what Waddle got. I'm not giving away for a bag of beans. Somebody gives me 2 second-round picks and no. You're going to give me look. Go to the Rams. They got 2 first-round picks. The teams that got 2 first-round picks that are playoff bound, that could be playoff bound, go to them. But I don't want to give them. I wouldn't trade them to the Rams. I'm just saying I'm using an example. You got to find that team that has the 2 first-round picks. Cleveland does now. He probably wouldn't want to go to Cleveland, but that I hate to say it. You put him in Cleveland, with that good defense. I know should do whoever the quarterback's going to be, but
we've talked about this on the show. I think that the teams that are going to pony up the most for him are those teams that are in the window right now. The Buffaloes, the Denvers, the New Englands, the teams that believe that they're right at the cusp. And they think they just need that one player to put him over the edge. And I'm telling you, I do not know why Buffalo is not making major noise in trying to acquire AJ Brown. I really don't understand that.
Okay. 1, they got to work. They got to get that defense. 2, I don't think they want to give up assets. It's the Eagles. They know that. They know what the Eagles are asking now because the Waddle trade. New England ain't going to do it. They just signed Romeo, whatever his name is, Dobbs. Like $90, $80 million. So they're not going to do that. They can't. You know what I'm saying? I think it's going to be a team that, like you said, hey, maybe Jacksonville. How about Houston?
Jacksonville's a good one. Yep.
Houston. Yeah. There's teams that. Here's one. How about the Colts?
What about Kansas City?
Yeah, because they got 2 first-round picks.
Can Andy work with AJ Brown? Andy doesn't seem does he still have a bad taste in his mouth about T.O.? Yeah,
but this guy ain't T.O. That's the whole difference. AJ ain't T.O. I think. Look, Andy deals with personalities really well. Think about it. T.O., Hugh Douglas. These guys. I'm talking strong personalities. Guys are
Travis
just like
Kelce, Pat Mahomes.
Yeah. You could go down the line. Michael Vick, he took that on. He took that on after Mike got out of prison. He took that right on. So I think it'd be a good fit. I don't think Andy wants to get AJ Brown. I don't think he wants to give his hand up this year. I've been telling all these Buffalo Bills fans, you got a second year to make the Super Bowl because Kansas City's gearing up for the year afterwards. I'm telling you. Yeah, AFC is going to be stuck with Kansas City going to the Super Bowl the year afterwards. I can tell you that right now. Pat Mahomes is going to come back with a vengeance. Andy's going to they'll have a wide receiver. I was shocked they didn't go after Waddle.
Yeah.
I just think, in my opinion, I think Andy's being smart. He's going to try to build up a little bit, maybe some of the defense. He got rid of both his starters on the D-backs, and he'll probably draft a wide receiver. Pat's going to come back, but I don't know what kind of impact that Kansas City can make this year. You know what I mean? That's why I said there's still that window for this year for Buffalo and New England. Now Denver's a different story. Man, that's a whole different story there, man. When Kansas City's healthy, Denver won't beat them. They won't beat them in the playoffs.
Yeah. So what about Denver? Does Denver pony up for an AJ Brown?
They just did. They just got. Unless they want to trade Sutton.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Give us Sutton and give us what. But they just traded a first-round pick. They don't have none.
Yeah, I'm just now. Does it concern you that some of these teams that are trading, for example, the Waddle thing? Does that concern you that they couldn't swing a deal with the Eagles for AJ Brown with a similar package? Are teams maybe staying away from AJ Brown?
Doesn't Howie want a player involved in that too? That's what it is. It's probably the hang-up.
He probably does. He probably does because he wants to replace the wide receiver as well. He probably does.
There's a lot of the Eagles got some. I mean, they have one starting safety. I mean, the defensive back.
We got Andy Dalton. We got Andy Dalton.
Well, you know what? I think they brought Andy here. To be honest with you, I think
to be the next quarterback coach.
No. Yeah. To be the coach, to be basically the coach for Jalen, to help Jalen, whatever's going on. I mean, because Joe said something, or you said it. Andy could be the emergency Tanner number 2, and he's just the de facto coach.
Yeah.
That's all. I mean, he's seen it all. He's been there. You know what I mean? He's been through a lot of it. I mean.
I don't think this trade is any way indicative of Tanner McKee getting traded. I don't think it has nothing to do with that.
That could happen. I mean,
unless something happens, like I said, in preseason where somebody gets hurt and they need a starter. Yeah, but not.
So you're telling me draft day, somebody offers you a second round pick for him, you're not taking it?
For Tanner McKee, yeah, of course I'll take that. But
there you go. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
if somebody ponies up, I don't think anybody's going to pony up. Listen, the only team that's going to pony up a first-round pick is Minnesota, because between the Herschel Walker trade and the Sam Bradford trade, they're bumbling fools. What they did, setting all them picks. So
didn't they sign Kyler Murray?
Yeah, they signed Kyle Murray. They love Carson Wentz as the backup. So
is McCarthy out? I mean, are they done with him? They give up on that kid after 1 year?
I think it's going to be a quarterback competition. I think it's a shame for all these quarterbacks that are young.
Yeah,
but they go through. Sam Darnold. Look at where Sam started. Look where Baker Mayfield started. And I crapped all over Baker Mayfield. I always said his ego was better than his game. But he maybe eat crow. I mean, he figured it out. Sometimes it happens. Ryan Tannehill sucked in Miami. He figured it out in Tennessee. These guys, these guys just. It's a shame they don't get 2 years, 3 years to sit behind. That's what made Aaron Rodgers so good. Think about that. He didn't have to go win because he had Brett Favre for 3 years there? Whatever it was he sat. A first-round pick sat for 3 years?
Joe Montana and Steve Young.
The best move this offseason is Justin Fields getting with Andy Reid.
Yeah, it might be a good move.
Whether he plays or not, it's just Andy, Kyle Shanahan, and the former Temple head coach, Bruce Arians. To me, they're all quarterback whisperers. They work with quarterbacks really well, and I think whether Justin could revive his career, whether he has a decent, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's what Andy does.
They got to do better than Gardner Minshew.
Minshew signed somewhere else anyway. He's not there. Yeah. I forget where he signed. Oh, Arizona. Gardner's smart. Let me tell you something. Gardner's smart. He's the new Ryan. He's the new Ryan.
Fitzpatrick.
Fitzpatrick.
Magic.
Yeah. Why not? Look, if you can make $5 million a year, $5 million, $6 million, and you play 20 years in the NFL. I mean, Fitzpatrick. I mean, guys are going to make money. Mm-hmm. But now to get back to Harper, I'm going to get on Harper before I get off.
Okay, let's do it.
So here's the deal. So I have a friend of mine who's you can't say nothing negative about Bryce Harper. Nothing.
No, it's one of those guys, huh?
Yeah, and I tell him when he starts talking, I just say, "Yep, yes, yep." I don't say nothing else. Like because CBS or somebody put a thing out there saying how Harper has nobody protecting him, blah 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 blah. Well, I looked up Eugenio Suarez last year.
Oh man!
When he was with Arizona, right? His backup was the guy back behind him was Naylor or whatever his name was. He went to Seattle. He had 11 home runs. When Eugenio got traded to Seattle, he had like 35 to 36 home runs or 30 something like that when he got traded over there. So he didn't have nobody protecting him.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Listen, and first of all, Judge was protecting Harper for the last 2 weeks.
There you go.
All right. I don't really know how much more you want. How much more can we do for you there, Harper? You had Aaron Judge protecting you for the last 2 weeks, and you had 3 hits in the WBC. Now, yes, a clutch hit last night, but yeah, I that to me doesn't. Yeah, I get it. You can maybe make that argument in Philadelphia during the season, but how can you make the argument when you have Aaron Judge protecting you? So
I would love to get my buddy to call into this show, and you could just go back and forth because you should see some of the texts he sent me. I just I used to respond, but then I had to stop because it's like it's one of them fights you don't want to do no more. Or that's it. I'll just agree with you. Yeah, I do. I can't do it no more.
No, I know a lot of those people,
and I tell them it's not that I don't like Harper. I love Bryce Harper. What has he done, and what has this Phillies team done in general outside of the World Series? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. That's including he'll bring up Schwarber bat 197. Well, let me think. Schwarber's carried this team offensively for the last 5 since he's been here.
Mm-hmm.
So what else do you want? I mean, I don't know what else to move Harper to number 1. How's that? Put him in the top of the lineup. That on number 1 with Turner number 2. Or put Schwarber at 3 and Harper 2. I think you do that. And then nobody can't say he has nobody protecting him because all these analytical things being out there about this is just a bunch of BS. Look, the eye test tells me, listen, when he gets up there, he's trying to outdo Schwarber. He's trying to be the showman. Well, put him in front of Schwarber because Schwarber ain't going to go to number 4. He don't want to be 4. So put him at 3. I put Schwarber at 3 and move Harper at 2. What the heck else you got to lose?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think you're right. And I don't like that because we saw that kind of this last 2 weeks. I don't want Harper batting second. I need Harper batting third. But the problem is we don't really have a number 2 because Alec Bohm was I think he's a prototypical number 2 hitter, but they're not going to let him bat second, because they think he's a power hitter, and that's wrong too. But so I don't even listen, I got about 8 days before my head's gonna blow up. But why can't you do Turner, Bohm, Harper, Schwarber, and then Real Muto or Garcia or whatever you want to do at 5? I don't understand what's wrong with that lineup. That is like the best out of the unstructured lineup that this lineup is. That's the best structure of it, and they don't want to do that. I don't get it.
Or how's this? Move Turner number 2. Put Crawford at 1. Harper at 3. Schwarber 4. I mean,
maybe you can do something like that. Yeah.
I mean, because what's going to you can't if Crawford bats 7th, 8th, or 9th in this 7th or 8th in this line, he can't. Maybe 8th he can do. He can't do 7. And look, you're gonna have Brandon Marsh bat 5th or 6th in this lineup. This is going to be horrible.
Crawford side, I think you start Crawford out batting 9th because you got to look at it almost as Crawford de facto is your leadoff hitter and Turner's your 2 hitter. When you get to the bottom of that lineup, you can almost look at it like that, where Crawford could get on base as, with maybe 1 out or 2 outs, and then you turn the lineup back over to 1, which would be Turner, and then you start it from there. Then that would be almost kind of like that scenario that you're talking about. But I don't think you start Crawford out leading off. I don't think you do that.
Well, I would. I'd throw him right out there because I look at all these other teams that do it. I mean, you got to start. Didn't Ricky Henderson as a rookie start as a leadoff hitter? I'm using the example. You know what I'm saying? Like, just put them in there. What's the big? That's what he's been doing his whole career is leading off. Yeah. So he's not. It's not like will he have nervousness? Yes, it's MLB. He's up in the show now, but he's prepared to be a number 1. That's how he's been prepared. He's just do it. Put Turner 2, Harper 3, Schwarber 4, Garcia 5. I guess you got to put Marsh. No, because they can't, because you'll have 3 lefties at the end. They won't do that. Robbie can't do that. Yeah. So it's got to be Marsh. It's got to be Marsh. Listen, I'm telling you, if you see Don Mattingly doing hand signals, he's managing the team. He's managing the team, giving Robbie like a 2 says 2 means swing away, Robbie. If you start seeing the chip
left-right crap. I don't care about the lefty-righty thing anymore. This lineup is not even that. We're not even there with this lineup yet. This lineup is so unstructured. Lefty-righty doesn't mean nothing to me. I'm looking at your profile as a hitter. That's all I'm looking at, and that's where I'm going to put you in the lineup. And then I'm going to roll with that. The hell with it.
What does Dante Nori bat? Is he left? I don't know much about this. He's left or right-hander.
He's a right. Well, no, he's a lefty actually. Nori's a lefty,
okay.
And he can bat, and he can play all 3 outfields. Me and Joe were talking about that. Keep an eye on Nori, obviously. He's not been held back by any levels of the minor leagues. If he makes a series, I don't. It might turn into a contract thing again. They're going to want to get an extra year out of him, so they're going to keep him down there for the service time nonsense.
Yeah.
But you're right. I wouldn't be surprised that in 2027 or 2028. Your outfield is Crawford, Nori, and Raconis. I wouldn't be surprised about that.
So I have to wait till the kid's 23, 24 to get up here?
Listen,
third of his career's already gone.
I'm being realistic with this regime here. Now, I'm not talking about what I would do. I'm talking about what they are going to do. You know what I mean? You know this as well as I do.
The one good thing is that Nolas. Okay, how many times has Nolas pitched in the World Baseball Classic? Did he look good?
2.
If he pitched, did he look good the second time or no?
So the first time he went 5 innings, gave up no runs, struck out 7, I believe. The second time he pitched the other night in the loss. He pitched well. I think it was 4 innings, struck out 5, gave up a run. Yeah, he pitched really. He was named to the All WBC team. So yeah, he pitched well. He pitched really well.
I've said for the last couple of months, that pitching staff is going to come down to Nola. Because after that, you got Painter and Walker.
It was a good sign. Nola was almost vintage Nola. They had the breaking ball working. He was using all sides of the plate. It was almost like watching Nola in 2019.
That's good. That's good because they need him. And I heard, I think Christian Sanchez didn't look good, but I think he'll be fine. I mean, he'll be fine. I think Lazardo's going to be fine. All right. Well, maybe I'll have to. Hopefully, Nola works out. Well, Matty, I'm going to let you go. You have a good night. I'll try to get on tomorrow if I can.
Please do.
Yeah, I'm at work, so.
Well, I'm here,
I'm working hard. I'm working hard,
Me, yeah. All right, man. We'll talk tomorrow. Man, Papernick. So I'm talking about. I'm calling in while on the job, man. Big Al checks in. I was hoping the Italians were going to the championship. Love watching them. Yeah, well, unfortunately, the Italian Americans. Let's call them what they are, by the way. Let's call the Italian team the Italian American team. I think we need to start there, right? I mean, was there any other than Samuel Algareri, who would be a Phillies prospect? Yeah, was there anybody else born in Italy on that team? So I think we should call them what they were, the Italian American team. And I don't think that's being disrespectful. I don't really think the Italian national team is quite the quality. I don't know if his name Jack Caglione is running around down there in Palmero, right? I don't know if the Aaron Nola family is still existing somewhere in the Tuscan Valley. I don't think that's happening. But let's call them what they were, the Italian American team. All right, and that's okay, right? Because if Poland ever fielded a baseball team, I could potentially play for them, which I don't know if that's a testament to the Polish American heritage. It's the way it is, right? I could coach for them. I could keep the book in the dugout maybe, but let's call them what they were, the Italian American team. But yeah, they were definitely the darlings of the tournament. I would have preferred to have seen them versus Valenzuela. I thought that we would have had no problem against Italy this time because De Rosa was not under any sort of like misnomers about what the ramifications of losing that game would have been, like he was the last time. It would have been an easier road to the championship for Team USA, no doubt. But no, they were a great story, and some young, talented future MLB stars were on display. Dante Nore, Caglione, Pasquilio. He plays for the Royals. He was a rookie last year. These kids are the future of MLB. And again, it poses the question as we get ready for 2028 in the summer games, do we as an international baseball program, like I don't know if Italy is going to field the team in 28 for the Olympics. There's only 8 teams and 3 of them have already been decided. It's going to be the DR, Venezuela, United States, and then the rest of the teams are going to be fielded from tournaments throughout the years or throughout the world over the next year and a half. But if we are able to go to the Olympics, which we are, do we take a look at what we did in this tournament and completely break it apart and change it up a bit and get rid of the Phillies laden power hitting lineup and get some contact hitters mixed in there? Have a traditional 1 and a 2, have a traditional 3, 4, 5, have a traditional 6, 7, 8 and a 9, do we give opportunities to the Caglionis? Do we give opportunities to the Pasqualio, whatever his name is? You know what I'm talking about. Do those guys get opportunities? And on our own side, does, a player like Crawford get a look at for perhaps lead off for Team USA? I don't know. Bobby Witt's pretty damn good. So, but I'm just saying, I think the program has to look at a lot of things, and there's a lot of talent to choose from. And what are the parameters? Do you have to be born in the country that you represent in the Olympics? I don't know the parameters of that. I don't think it is. I think you just have to be a citizen, or have some. I think you have to be. I think you have to prove citizenship, not birthright, but citizenship, or even ancestral. I think you have to actually prove citizenship. So does that change the landscape for Team Italia? I don't know. We'll see. And Al put a Nori Stubbs thing. Why are we looking at that? Why are we talking about Stubbs at the outfield? You didn't hear what they're doing, Al? You haven't been paying attention? They're trying to work out Garrett Stubbs all over the place. They're trying him on every position. They try to keep him on this team for some reason. I'm as befuddled about it as you are. Makes no damn sense to me. What a few weeks for Eagles punter Braden Mann. He signed a new 4-year contract extension. Yep. And he and his wife Kylie just became parents. Check out Star Wars all up in the Braden Mann family's business. Braden Mann. And Joe says Dante Nori got sent down today. He did. Minor league camp is in full swing right now, so they're all back there. Nori was never going to make this team. That was not part of the plan this year. So Nori will go down to AAA, probably more than likely. Will start in AAA. And he'll be another face of the sea down there, right? I mean, when Aiden Miller gets back, you can go down to Allentown and see Dante Nori and Aiden Miller play. Yeah. Replacing the Crawford Painter spectacle. So, all right, we're about hour 10 in. Let's pause for the cause here and remind everybody that really following tonight, because we have a hockey game that probably just started out in Anaheim, we will be back later on this evening. I will be here for the Flyers-Ducks post game immediately following the end of the Flyers game. Make sure you guys are coming back. Tomorrow night it'll be Mike Laro, and then on Saturday it'll be Mike Laro as well. So that's our Clear the Ice schedule for the rest of the weekend starting tonight. And remember the Clear the Ice procedure here. The Flyers post-game show will remain on this network on a week-to-week basis based on the point totals of the Flyers throughout that week. So very baseline. All the Flyers got to do is get a point in the next 3 games, and we're back next week. If they fail to capture a point, we are not coming back next week. I'm shutting the show down because we are about to hit that that magical time of the sports calendar in April, where yes, it would be great to have this problem to have to be able to maneuver between the Flyers and Phillies post game shows. I would love to have that problem, and we do it in October to the best of our abilities. But in October, it's not every day, right? In October, it's every other day. Got a couple days off between series, blah blah blah. So in April, it's that rarest of times when you have the potential of having Phillies baseball every day and mixing in with a Flyers playoff run and then the playoffs. And again, it's a good problem to have, but right now it doesn't look like we're about to have that problem again. And at some point, I got to make the executive decision to, to send all of our efforts and assets towards the Phillies. And we're at that stage of the season for the Flyers. Now, I believe the Flyers have about a 3.5% chance of making the playoffs right now. And they have about a 1.4% chance of getting the first overall draft pick. So I need those numbers to switch. But we'll keep going. We will. As long as the Flyers let me. So let's get into the of the night segment and let's wrap this show up so I can take a break before having to come back. All right, yeah. We're headway into both the NHL and MLB draft prospects portion of the night season. We started breaking ground on MLB draft prospects last week. We've gotten through about 11 of the NHL prospects. We're going to continue on with MLB tonight. We're now going to talk about a bona fide top 5, top 3 potential draftee in this year's draft. This kid is blowing up all over the place. He's a consensus top 5 pick on a lot of people's boards. And let's talk about him right now. It is the slick fielding shortstop from the University of Alabama, Justin LeBron. The only knock on LeBron is his tendency to chase pitches out of the zone, especially breaking balls, but he's also making strides with his approach and 2-strike plan and projects as an average hitter, which would make him an all-star. He has added 15 pounds of significant bat speed in college, giving him well above average raw power on the right side of the plate. He also has a good feel for driving the balls in the air. Again, early season returns right now as we are about coming up on about a month of the college baseball season in the books. He is really kind of on top of a lot of people's boards for top 3, top 5 potential drafted prospect coming out of Alabama, a big time program in the SEC. A major league ready type program. We talk about that in football. You coming from an NFL program, while anything in the SEC is, especially when they talk about the Power 5 of the SEC, that's MLB ready type programs. And he's been having a good start to the year, and really again on a lot of people's boards is top 5. I would love for this is there's a lot of good shortstops in this draft, a lot of good potential shortstops. We've talked about, I think, 2 of them now. And is shortstop a position of need for the Phillies where they're going to be picking in this year's draft? Probably not. Pitching would probably be where they go again with their first round pick. But I mean, if one of these guys falls down, I think the Phillies are in that 23 range again this year. If the Phillies are able to find their way into a top 5, shortstop types thing, I wouldn't be against taking one. I mean, I know there's levels of precedences, and there's obviously other issues with this team that need to be addressed. I stand corrected. So this is interesting. Why was I not looking at this? Stop the presses, everybody. The Philadelphia Phillies are selecting. This cannot be right. The Phillies got 2 first-round picks this year, 7 and 20. Oh, man, this changes some things, man. Holy crap. I want to verify that. That doesn't make it. I don't remember seeing a 7 pick. But right now, the Phillies are picking 7 and 20. in this year's draft. Now, this is a definite spot for a Justin LeBron at 7. I think if that's true, and I'll do some more research on that, but if the Phillies are picking 7th, and I'm going to find out why we have 2 first-round draft picks this year, but if they're picking 7th, then you damn right go for a position player there. 20, you can take your pitcher. But that's very interesting. That's going to change some things. So let me do some research on that, and I'll get back to you. But right now, I'm seeing the Phillies are picking 7th and 20th in this year's draft, and that changes some things. I'll get more information on that. But there you go. Justin LeBron, definitely a top 5 pick or candidate in 2026. So there is your draft prospect, MLB draft prospect of the night. And Joe Hale's reporting in. The Flyers are up 1-0 early on. Good stuff. Luke Glending with the goal. Oh, that's good. I mean, need a better shortstop than Trey Turner. Yeah, but Trey Turner is on the hook for what, 6 more years, and we're going to milk everything we can out of that. And we're going to go from there. But all right. Listen, again, let me. We're gonna put a stop to this. I'll be back later tonight for the post game. But I want to thank everybody for joining in tonight. Top story was picking the pieces up of Team USA's loss to Venezuela. Where do we go now as an international baseball program? The similarities of watching Team USA play offense last night was too close to home. It was too much like watching the Phillies. And it, of course, provides a lot of concerns going into the season about what we're about to go down the road again with this type of offense. And is this type of offense past date? Is it time now for this country, the flag bearers of baseball of the world? And I don't give it, you know what, to talk about anything. I've heard some programs over the last couple of days, especially today, intimate that baseball is more popular internationally than it is in this country. And that's got to be the biggest load of what that I've ever heard in my entire life. I'm not saying that baseball's international rise has not been, prevalent and ongoing, but it'll never be more popular in this country than anywhere else. And baseball's alive and well in this nation. So people who make those types of statements continue to show their ignorance when it comes to the sport. About saying that for some odd reason baseball is more popular internationally than it is in this country. It's the most ignorant thing I've ever heard anybody ever utter. And if you know somebody out there that prescribes to that, you need to educate them. You really do, because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. But we need to pretty much follow the international model of how they're going about their stuff. The days of launch velo, exit velocity, launch angle, exit velo, those days are over. These kids are starting to learn how to hit again. And it's a beautiful thing. And we need to catch up with the rest of the world. But we will, thank you, Joe. I'll be here. How I ended up getting into this. 1 o'clock, like goddamn morning, talking about the Flyers and Ducks. What I won't do. But I'll be back. I'll be back later on doing some post gaming. Thank you, Joe. And we'll talk Flyers, Ducks, and maybe talk a little bit more about the Flyers in general. We haven't really touched a bit. Cole Knuble signed his ZLC. Nolan Powell signed his ZLC. Porter Martone's college season is wrapping up. What are they going to do with him? It's starting to get interesting a little bit, especially for the future of the Flyers. So we'll be back later on with the Clear the Ice. Until then, you guys have the great rest of your night, or a great few more hours till we talk again. I'm out here.